Hi, my name is Joshua Shane Schroyer. This is my M project. I want to start off by saying I'm doing a video because I'm terrified of all of you. So, yeah. So, it is currently 1 a.m., the day this is supposed to be due. Um, I felt it was appropriate because I'm a procrastinator. Because, like, for me, it's really difficult to get started on something once like, once I have it assigned to me, it's just really hard to start. And so I felt it was appropriate to be doing this at 1 a.m., the day it's supposed to be due. And let's start with nature is nurture. So I think I've had a pretty even balance for my whole life because I'm really lucky to have both my parents. They're fantastic. They've always been really good to me and being really supportive. And I've had their bad times, like when my dad slapped my arm after I got a flu shot. That was kind of rude, but like that's like the worst it's ever really gotten, except for some fighting here and there. Um, but a lot of nature because I learned a lot from my friends and from the internet because I got a hold of the internet at way too young of an age, and it kind of like ruined me a little bit. But I mean, I guess it kind of happens for a lot of people nowadays because the internet's like really active. But I learned a lot of things by myself and by people I didn't think I'd ever learn from. But I'm really thankful for my like even mixture because it's given me a decently well-rounded personality. My overall perception of things is really just kind of like worrisome. Like if there's something new, I'm either super excited or super terrified because of my past. I was the kid that was like really nice and welcoming in elementary school. So the teachers would assign me whenever there was a new kid, and there was a lot of new kids. And I'd introduce them to the school. I'd make a new friend, and then they'd leave, and that was like really tough because there's a lot of kids that moved around, and I know it was tough for them, but it was tough for me because I had to like meet and lose a lot of my friends. There was, let's see if I can remember. There was Daniel, Shane, Kelsey, Heaven, Brandon, and there's like three more I think, because I kept introducing these new kids to the school, and they'd like be like, "Oh, cool, I'm your friend now." And I'm like, "Awesome," and we hang out for like 2 or 3 days, and then about like a month later they'd have to move. And it was like all really fast. So my perception of things is sometimes negative right away, just because I'm scared, not because I'm like um, a negative person, just because I'm genuinely worried a lot of the time because my past has kind of proven that that's how things are supposed to be, and so I just kind of don't warm up to things like I'm supposed to. Like I have a dog, and I had my dog for like 4 years, and I didn't warm up to her until like the second year because when I had my first dog, we had to get rid of him because my brother was allergic. So I have really bad trust issues, and I'm really bad with like people and things being loyal to me because it's never really worked out. At a moral standpoint, um, it was basically just like if I didn't want it to happen to me or my family, I wouldn't do it. So my morals were kind of just like, don't like be rude to people and just be yourself as much as you possibly can. It's really hard to be yourself in high school because I thought that like sports would be the hard thing, and like there'd be a bunch of jocks who like weren't accepting or anything, and they'd be like a really tough group to get into. I joined theater, and it's the opposite. You'd think that like theater would be like the most supportive thing in the world, and it's not. It's really cutthroat, and there's a lot of people in there that just will do whatever they can to make your day worse, which is sucky to say because I am a theater kid, but it's really true. A lot of the sports people in this school are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. I joined Cougarlicious last year and this year, and last year was all people I'd never met before. It's people that played varsity sports and were really good and really well known, and they all welcome you with open arms. And I never felt so accepted into anything in my entire life. And the same thing happened this year. And I was just really thankful to just instantly be in a family and to be a leader and to be someone I wanted to be and not have to worry about putting a mask on because I really just want to be free, and that was what I got from being around these supposedly super jock dudes, but they were just so amazing people. My personality. Well, I already told you how I'm terrified, like 24/7. Um, I'm a really envious person because a lot of things I feel like when I was younger, I used to think I deserved a lot of things that I didn't, and that was kind of my own fault. Um, High school, like just school in general, has just always made me sad. Um, when I was in elementary school, people would say just wait till middle school, it'll be so much better. And then when I was in middle school, they said just wait till high school, it'll be so much better. Now they're saying just wait till college, and it's just kind of like, why do I have to keep waiting for stuff to get better? That's kind of a sucky situation. And I have perfect attendance. It's not something I brag about because it's just like I came to school. Okay. Um, but I don't have perfect attendance because it's a goal to me. It's because if I miss a day of school, I won't come back. Because I missed a I missed the second day of my freshman year because the first day when I got home, I passed out and concussed myself in the corner of my dining room table. And I missed the rest of that week out of fear to go back to school. I'm When I miss a day, I won't want to go back either because I'm terrified to go back or just because there's like no willpower to go back, which is really kind of scary. That's why I haven't missed any days in a really long time because if I miss a day, I wouldn't be back in school. As far as development, I've really developed a lot as a person through acting and just through meeting new friends. I got into acting because I wanted to be someone else because I just didn't want to be myself for once. And it was a really good way to get away and to do something just brand new. And I've been acting for a really long time, but just on and off a lot. So um, it's just a good thing to get into when you really want to have an escape to get out of your own skin. Because sometimes it's really hard to be yourself, and sometimes it's just really easy to be someone else, even if they're really, really bad person or a really, really good person. It's just a lot easier sometimes. Now, sleep is a fun topic. I don't remember my dreams unless they're bad. I used to like write my dreams in a journal because they would always freak me out, and I thought maybe there was like a reason for that. I don't know where that journal went. It's gone. But I'm a really bad sleeper. Like freshman year, I probably slept about 4 hours a week. And I wish I was over exaggerating, but I'm not. I found a movie app on my Surface Pro and I watched all the movies my mom wouldn't let me just to spite her when I ended up like ruining myself. Um, I went 10 days without sleeping over this winter break, and that was weird. That was like really weird. And then I came back to this class, and like the first lesson we were learning was like, oh, why you should get sleep. And I was like, well, too late for that. And so sleep isn't like, I'm not a person who loves sleep. I don't look forward to it. I like doing things. I like being out there. And it's just sleep has never been one of my favorite things in the world because I only remember my bad dreams. And if you only remember the bad stuff, you don't really want to go back to it. Um, so it's just been my weird thing to just avoid it. And it hasn't been the best thing in the world, but it hasn't been the worst thing in the world. I don't know what I'm missing, and I don't know what I'm gaining. It's kind of just like a right in the middle. So not that bad of a deal. Now, social is hard. This is where a lot of my rooted trust issues come from. Um, First of all, before I go to the negatives, I wanted to say thank yous to people who aren't even here. Um, Middle school was really tough, but seventh grade, I was super lucky. In Richmond, I had my friend Jacob and Levi who sat at my table, and they were the nicest people ever. And I had two people who I shared the exact same schedule with. I saw them every period of every day. It was Brandon and Logan, and they were just super nice to me. And I couldn't have gotten through that if it weren't for them. And I'm so thankful to have people that I could have actually trusted for once, because that was something I didn't really have very often. Because to the negatives, um, not only will the friends leave without a choice. Like my best friend Jacob Waters, he's in Germany right now because his dad made him move. My friend Genna is in Florida right now because his dad made him move, and there's a couple more who dads made them move. That's really tough, but it's even harsher when they voluntarily kick you out. When I was in 4th grade, I had a group of friends. They were really nice to me, and one day they just came up to me and said that they wanted to take a vote to kick me out. Half of them said no, and I'm really thankful for those half because they stayed friends with me after that for a little bit. And the other half said yes, but the half that said yes was apparently superior, so I had no friends anymore. They just like someone snapped their fingers and was half of my friends were gone. And so I've been really sad since like 4th grade, just because I thought I wasn't good enough for anyone because they made me feel so low, and I ended up bullying myself for the rest of elementary school because it was easier to bully myself than to get bullied. It's because I would say a bunch of mean things about myself, and people would look at it and just kind of be like, well, there's no reason to add on to it, or they'd just go with it. So it was good and bad. Sometimes it just ended up in my favor, and those times were worth it. And to wrap it all up, my clinical assessment. I have prescribed, like this is diagnosed. I have depression, the regular, good old teenager disorder. I have anxiety. I have ADHD. And I have borderline personality disorder, which I just got very recently because I was talking to my therapist and like asking a bunch of questions about stuff like this. And another one of the big ones is anger issues, but that's just mostly because my past, like I just described. Um, those all affect me every day. I don't take pills for any of them because it's just kind of like I've been through a lot of them. And it's really hard to just keep going through pills that change your personality, and I don't want to be changed. I'm not a fan of myself being changed. So I like sticking to me, and if that means I have to deal with some demons, then that means I have to deal with some demons. But I go with it, and that's me. I'm Josh Stroyer. I'm broken in a lot of ways, but nothing that can't be fixed one day.